I grew up north of Huntsville in Emsdale. I lived with my dad until I was 26. I left school when I was 16, and I could only read simple words at that time. I didn't have any friends at all. I was totally isolated. But at the time, I felt safer that way than going outside, and because in school I was teased, bullied, beat up, called names. So I thought that would keep me safe, but it didn't. It hurt me more than it helped me.
We have great social services in our area, but not everybody serves everyone. One of the best things about the YMCA and community living is they both are so collaborative in their community. They're targeting youth that are just finished high school, that are ready to go to work but need extra help.
I think there's a large misconception in regards to people that have disabilities that aren't able to work within the workforce.
My wife and I have a son named Blake, and he's part of the community living community in Huntsville. When Blake was young, we really didn't know what the future had in store.
It's been a great fit for us, for our team, as well as the community, working alongside community living.
But now he's going to work, and he works for 6 or 7 hours a day, sometimes 5 days a week, and he just loves it.
Best thing about it is every day Blake comes in and he's happy.
How long have we been an inclusive employer? Like from day one, we look for those opportunities. It's been very rewarding, and our staff love it, our customers love it. It's just been a great thing to do.
I didn't really know what to expect. Dealing with somebody who had never had a job before was something new. I made a bold move, I thought, and we got our beloved Jeff.
Everyone has a place in our community, in our store.
So we're an employer of Harold, and he's been with us for about 2 years now. And there's been quite a bit of growth with Harold over the years. He's definitely become more confident since he's been there. It's nice to see him just, laughing with us now.
And we recently had Wendy, who was absolutely delightful, and also taught me little things about, oh, why do you do it this way? And I thought, oh, I like that you're asking me these things because I need to think about it, and sometimes my reasons aren't good and I need to do it a new way.
I have a job now, and it's something I've always wanted. I wouldn't have that without community living, because I tried before I was in community living to get a job, and it just wasn't, I didn't have skills. And now I'm working at Metro, and I'm very happy there. I do carts. It's an awesome place to work, great bosses, and the people there are just awesome to me. So
That I had huge support from community living.
The community support person has a dialogue outside of work that is maybe less intimidating than talking to the employer. And so they can often come to us and say, hey, here's how this person's feeling, you're maybe not aware of it, and what can we do about it to make sure that the environment works.
Being able to have somebody come in and have those conversations with us, provide the support, as well as move the individual forward in their career path has been quite helpful.
The support worker works with them until they're comfortable, and we're comfortable that they're no longer needed, which in most cases is not very long.
And something happens on the job and their back's in our door again. And this gets repeated over and over again. And as much as we want to help them, a couple of failures can really set the pace of a downward spiral. We're talking about things that can impact them the rest of their life.
The opportunity that is presented by being able to leave the house, become a productive member of the community, and go out to work is just fantastic.
I really believe that the success to any organization, group, business is diversity. It just makes you a better organization.
And so this is why I'm excited about what community living's doing, because they're going to try to help those people who don't fit to get back to fitting again in their community.
And it's not just hiring somebody for the sake of saying, oh, I have somebody hired from community living. It's nothing to do with that.
It's inclusion, it's acceptance. It makes people come out of their shells and feel like they're a part of a team and that they want to come back to work every day.
Not only are you inviting somebody who maybe wouldn't have the opportunity to get into the community, you are benefiting from their thoughts and their ideas.
I am proud to say our Jeff is still there, and I am damn proud of that.
You know, why do we do it? Because it just makes you a better team.
We, as an organization, want to be able to find somewhere we can send youth who need that little extra hand up instead of a handout, to be able to learn to not only survive but thrive in their community.
A dream of mine is to have my own house. Just a nice little one-bedroom house. Doesn't have to be huge. I don't want a mansion, but that's one of my goals.
Our funding primarily comes from the Ministry of Community and Social Services. We support about 80 adults and about another 80 to 100 children with the funding from the District of Muskoka.
The ministry provides a very good foundation for the funding of our programs and services, but it's limited and it's not enough anymore.
There are people who need assistance, but the ministry guidelines do not offer the support they need. Young people leaving high school are particularly vulnerable because they receive supports until they're 18 years of age. Then when they're transitioning to adults, those supports are often not funded.
The biggest concern for me when I found out that my son wouldn't receive services was that what happens now?
When you have a young person who is diagnosed with whatever, a mental health disorder, autism spectrum disorder, they need an advocate. When he graduated from school, we thought, okay, where do we go from here? And this is where I see a huge gap in our system.
So in the past few years, we've put more of an emphasis on fundraising to address some of those things that funding no longer takes care of.
Our goal is to raise $150,000. With this money, we hope to develop a program of modest supports for individuals who fall between the cracks.
We support these kids as far as we can through their public school education, through their high school education, but then when we get them to a point where they are young adults, they are left on their own out there with little support or no support at all.
Fundraising and improving our profile within the community is so important to a community within Huntsville.
You know, my son had a job and then he lost it. You know, I always think that if there was just a job coach that could have been there just to kind of maybe say, you know, doing this much might have been, could we just work him up to it? Or there was just too many pieces to can we break it into smaller chunks?
There's nothing worse than seeing your child get laid off job after job after job.
If we could hire one extra staff, we could serve 10 to 15 people.
When he hasn't been working, you could see the depression starting to head in, and because he didn't have that purpose every day to go do something meaningful.
You will never find a more dedicated, committed worker than kids like Nick.
We need employers to consider people with a label of intellectual disability as viable candidates for jobs.
If we wait for 2 or 3 years, they may have spiraled into despair and lost all hope.
Loneliness is the only real disability. With a little bit of financial help from our community, we know that we can provide the supports that have led to successful and rich lives for people.
To me, this is an investment in our children. This is an investment in our adults. So for me, it would be really important because they're our future.
They're reaching out for a helping hand. We want to be the helping hand that's reaching back.